Today, I want to give you a secret.
You are a big deal not because of what you have, not because of what you have on, not because of the people around you. You are a big deal because there's not another person in this world like you. And when you start to embrace that there's nobody else like you, when you start to embrace that nobody else can do what you do, when you start to embrace that you are one of one, you will start to see the greatness that you have in you.
Today, I want to give you a secret. And the secret that I'm giving you, I believe is going to change your life because it changed mine. I believe it will help you get through your depression. I believe it will help you overcome your anxiety. I believe it will help you find your purpose. I believe it will help you find your gift. I believe it will change your marriage. I believe it will change the relationship you have with your kids or family members or co-workers. I believe it will change your business. Like I believe. And the secret is this. The power is in his presence. The power is in God's presence. This morning I was reading Exodus 33. And I read verse 13 through 15. And it says in 13, if you are pleased with me, teach me your ways so I may know you and continue to find favor with you. Remember that this nation is your people. 14, the Lord replied, my presence will go with you and I will give you rest. 15, this is what I really want you to pay close attention to. Moses said to him, if your presence does not go with us, do not send us up from here. Your presence. That's what Moses thought of God's presence. Because Moses' job was to lead his people to the promised land. Lead the Israelites to the promised land. And if you read about the promised land, that's the land of milk and honey. And Moses was less concerned about the promised land. The promised land was less important to Moses than God's presence. I need y'all to pay close attention to that. My message to you today is this. If you want things to change in your life, the promised land has to be less important to you than God's presence. People's approval has to be less important to you than God's presence. Money has to be less important to you than God's presence. Status has to be less important to you than God's presence. Power has to be less important to you than God's presence. A position has to be less important to you than God's presence. You should seek God's presence first. Why am I telling you this, right? There's something I share with somebody because you see people who have the power, the status, the money. You're like, why don't they have peace? And the reason they don't have peace is you can't expect God to be the source of your peace when people are the source of your satisfaction. You can't expect God to be the source of your peace when people are the source of your satisfaction. You can't expect God to be the source of your peace when money is the source of your satisfaction, when fame is the source of your satisfaction, when followers are the source of your satisfaction, when views are the source of your satisfaction, when your family's approval are the source of your satisfaction. So you can't expect God to be the source of your peace when these things are the source of your satisfaction. Because as long as you're putting your focus or value in those things, God can't give you peace. So that's why I say seek him first. Because if you seek him first, those things will come with it. How do I know? Because Jesus said in Matthew 6:33, seek ye first the kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. Seek his presence. Too many times we're so focused on the promised land. We're so focused on the destination. We're moving without his presence. Moses said, if your presence is not going to be there, I don't want to be there. I don't care if it can make me more money. If your presence is not going to be there, I don't want to be there. I don't care if it can give me status. I don't care if it can give me fame. I don't care if it can give me the power. If your presence is not going to be there, I don't want to be there. Because I know with your presence, no matter where you send me, no matter what you ask me to do, if your presence there, it is going to be blessed. So I am not going to go, or I don't want to be where your presence isn't. I think Tasha Cobb said it. I want to be where you are. Because I know where you are, it is going to be blessed. I know if you send me there, it is going to be blessed. I know if you ask me to do it, it is going to be blessed. It may not look like a blessing in the beginning. It may look like a demotion in the beginning. It may look like I'm in the wrong spot. But what I'm telling you today, if he's going to be there, if his presence is going to be there, it will be blessed. So seek his presence. Seek his presence. And I had to learn that. I had to learn, and I found out how powerful his presence is. Because when I seeked his presence, my events, the gigs, the bookings start to increase. When I was trying to do it on my own, when I was trying to get to the destination, when I was so focused on views, and I was so focused on attention, and I was so focused on followers, and I was so focused on fame, and I was so focused on when I was so focused on money, and I was so focused on these things, it was funny, nothing happened. But when I shift my focus and says, God, I just want to be where you are, I started getting booked for events. My motivational speaking business started changing. But I just said, I want to be where you are. That if your presence is not there, I don't want to go. My basketball training, my basketball development business started growing and changing. I'm starting getting clients from over here and over there, and then I'm starting getting messages from young men and young ladies talking about they just now got offered, or they're going to school to play at this college and that college to play basketball. When I started seeking his presence in my marriage began to change. My attitude, my stubbornness, my anger, all those things started to change when I started seeking his presence. And so I'm telling you right now, seek his presence. Don't focus on the other stuff, because those things cannot bring you satisfaction. Because if you allow those things to be what makes you happy, those same things can make you sad. So if money makes you happy, what happens when you don't have it? If success makes you happy, what happens when you fail? If people make you happy, what happens when those people leave? If views make you happy, what happens when you don't get it? If followers make you happy, what happens when they don't follow you? If your friends if your friends make if your friends make you happy, what happens when you lose them? If power makes you happy, what happens when you don't have power? If the position makes you happy, what happens when you lose the position? So I'm telling you, don't put faith in things that have no control over. And so I tell you right now, seek ye God first. Because the power is in his presence. The power is in his presence. And that's my message for you on this Sunday. The power is in his presence. So seek him first. Seek him first. And all these things will be given to you as well. Get to a point where the promised land is less important than his presence. Y'all have a blessed one.